Global trade is a complex dance of policy, politics, and economics. For years, Trump-era tariffs disrupted this dance, changing the rules for countries and industries worldwide. On August 13, 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court struck them down, a fundamental shift, not just a policy tweak. This decision signals the possible end of aggressive, unilateral trade protectionism. It reopens the debate. Should America lead with open markets or protect its industries? The court's ruling pushes the U.S. toward a more traditional, rules-based approach to trade. The implications are huge for businesses, consumers, and governments everywhere. The world adapted to tariffs, now it must adapt to their absence. The tariffs reflected deep anxieties about globalization and the American worker. Promised as a way to bring back jobs, the reality was far more complicated. Disrupted industries, rerouted supply chains, and strained relationships. The court's decision doesn't erase this history, it adds a dramatic new chapter. It forces a reckoning with the true costs and benefits of the trade wars. Removing tariffs won't solve all the problems they targeted, but it creates an opportunity. It's a chance to build smarter, more sustainable trade policy, fair to American workers and open to the world. It's also a chance to repair alliances and restore U.S. leadership in the global economy. The world is watching to see what America does next. The stakes are high, the path forward is uncertain, but the opportunity for change is real. To understand the Supreme Court's decision, we need to look back. Trump-era tariffs were rooted in a worldview that saw trade as a zero-sum game, especially with China. Heavy taxes on imports like steel and Chinese goods aimed to make American products more competitive and bring jobs back home. The official justification was national security and fair trade, but the reality was complex. Some industries benefited briefly, but many others, especially those relying on imported parts, faced higher costs. Farmers suffered from retaliatory tariffs, hitting American agriculture hard. The tariffs were a high-stakes gamble with many unintended consequences. While they promised to put America first, they created new economic challenges and set the stage for legal battles. The story of the tariffs is one of promises, contradictions, and a nation grappling with globalization. The Supreme Court's ruling is the latest chapter in this ongoing debate. It's a turning point that forces America to reconsider its approach to global trade. The Supreme Court's decision wasn't about the tariffs' economic impact, it was about the rule of law. The legal challenge centered on whether the president overstepped authority by using national security as a justification for broad tariffs. The court ruled the executive branch exceeded its powers. Congress, not the president, regulates foreign commerce. This reasserts constitutional checks and balances and sets a precedent limiting future presidents' ability to impose similar tariffs. Trade policy will now require more deliberation and congressional involvement. Businesses gain stability, knowing trade rules can't change overnight by executive order. The decision signals a shift away from unilateralism and toward a rules-based system. It's a win for free trade advocates and a sign of democratic resilience. The ruling restores predictability to U.S. trade law and global commerce. America's institutions have shown they can check executive power even in contentious times. The Supreme Court's decision sent shockwaves through the global economy. Supply chains, long disrupted by tariffs, must now readjust as costs for imported goods drop. American consumers will likely see lower prices on everything from appliances to cars. U.S. allies welcome the move, seeing it as a step toward repairing strained relationships. For China, the decision is a clear win, boosting its exports and easing trade tensions. Some American industries, like steel, now face renewed competition and must adapt quickly. The government will need to support workers and sectors hurt by the sudden shift. The ruling could reinvigorate international trade institutions like the WTO. A return to rules-based trade encourages negotiation over trade wars. The long-term result could be a more stable, predictable global trading environment. The world is watching how the U.S. manages this transition. Every major economic shift creates winners and losers. The biggest winners are U.S. companies using imported materials, automakers, tech firms, and consumers who'll see lower prices. American farmers, hit hard by retaliatory tariffs, regain access to crucial export markets. Foreign exporters, especially in China and Europe, benefit from renewed access to the U.S. market. The losers' industries, once protected by tariffs like steel and aluminum, now face tough competition. Some jobs in these sectors are at risk, but other industries that use these materials may grow. The logistics and transportation sectors could also expand as trade flows increase. Policymakers must manage the transition, supporting displaced workers with retraining and assistance. The challenge is to ensure the benefits of freer trade are widely shared. The end of tariffs brings opportunity but also demands careful adjustment. The goal: a stronger, more balanced economy. The stakes are high for workers, businesses, and communities across America. The Supreme Court's decision reshapes America's global relationships. Removing tariffs repairs trust with allies like Canada, Mexico, and the EU, paving the way for renewed cooperation. With trade disputes set aside, the U.S. and its partners can focus on bigger challenges, especially China's rise. A united front is more effective in addressing unfair trade practices and global issues. For U.S.-China relations, the move de-escalates the trade war but doesn't end strategic rivalry. The U.S. may now pursue more targeted, sophisticated strategies like tech controls and investment screening. The focus shifts from broad trade wars to smarter competition. The end of tariffs marks a new phase in managing China's rise and protecting American interests. Alliances are strengthened, but competition remains. The world order is being reshaped, one policy at a time. The Supreme Court's decision closes one chapter and opens another for U.S. trade policy. The era of broad unilateral tariffs is over, a new vision is needed. America must address globalization's anxieties while embracing open markets. The path forward: renewed diplomacy, multilateralism, and working with allies to set modern trade rules. Trade policy must be linked to domestic investment in education, innovation, and support for displaced workers. A smarter, fairer approach can build a new consensus, balancing open markets with protections for American workers. The challenge is to move beyond old debates and create policy fit for the 21st century. The Supreme Court has cleared the way. Now leaders must act. The world is watching to see if America can lead in a new era of global trade. The opportunity for change is here, if the U.S. is ready to seize it.